Mr. Z back with another one. So let's do our intros. Yes, this is random. I did not give a warning because I wasn't sure I was going to make a video right now, and then I decided to make a video right now. So what are we talking about? Mr. O'Shea Duke Jackson and one of his more recent videos. Oh, let's do our intros. What am I doing? Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat on your way in. Thank you for listening into Mr. Z and another one. So where we will be speaking about Mr. O'Shea Duke Jackson. Oh, let me get a comment in the comment box for the first people in. You know, O'Shea covered what's this? I don't remember what her name was, but I've seen her before. I watched the original video. It's the heavy set. Well, okay, I'm starting wrong. O'Shea was speaking about Amber Rose and her saying she's done with black men, and the guy that she was recently dating is now dating Cher, and we all know, like, yeah, like that Cher, the singer Cher, like the old lady singer Cher. Yes, that guy. I mean that woman. Well, okay. Anyway, right. So apparently Amber Rose is like, you know, she's done with black men, so she says, blah blah blah. What's interesting about this is the beginning of the video. O'Shea plays the young dark skin. Well, she's not young. The darker skin, heavy set woman who also says she's done with black men, and she's doing the whole neck rolling thing and speaking about black men running their mouths and whatnot. And so, if you follow that woman's story, apparently she's in a relationship with another woman right now. So that's what I want to cover. That's where I'm going with this, right? And this is, once again, not to chastise LGBTQ. This is not that. This is not some homophobic rant. What it is to say is that's pretty much where divestment is going to lead most black women, right? Especially black women. I'm going to say it. I have to say it the way I have to say it. That's built like that young lady, right? Not that Amber Rose is. Amber Rose is rich and she's famous. She can maybe land her a well-to-do white guy, right? She can maybe land her a well-to-do white guy or Latino. That young lady that was rolling her neck and these black men and no. And that's where divestment is going to lead many black women, to perpetual singledom or to being with another woman, being with another black woman, as I've said before, right? And shout out to you, Ben Porter. He said with a forehead tat. Yes, with a forehead tat. Amber Rose. Now, I did say a well-to-do white man. I didn't tell you what type of well-to-do white man. I'm talking about the Travis Barker type well-to-do white men, right? Like not your square CEO types, right? Maybe a couple of your rockers, maybe a couple of your white aspiring rappers, or maybe somebody with a couple of dollars that's in the industry moving in the background that we don't know about. Yes. Right? You know? So, doesn't Eve have a sex tape with what's his face? Didn't she still get married to a white dude? Right? With Stevie J, my apologies. Right? So, you know. Ben is hysterical. You know, but yeah, so I really want to emphasize the part of the young lady speaking the way she did, and then later on, from my understanding, because I followed that story a little bit a few months ago, right? And she's with another woman. I'm talking about and I'm gonna put everything in the description, because I know people are like, who are you talking about? O'Shea Duke Jackson's most recent well, not his most recent, but one of his recent videos about Amber Rose. And he started the video off with a heavy set sister with with glasses on, and I think she had a scarf on also, if I'm not mistaken, if I remember correctly. And you know, your usual black men ain't-ish type of rhetoric, and how black women are coddling black men and y'all need to talk to black men, and the whole neck rolling and the whole exaggerated facial expressions and eyes and everything like that, right? I don't know who does this pass off as cute for? I don't know. I don't know who thinks this is attractive. I've been black for decades now. I've been around black men and black women for decades now, and I don't know who finds this appealing. But hey, it's just me, right? But yeah, so and then you find out she's in a relationship with another black woman. So go figure, right? And you're gonna see. I estimate you're gonna see a lot of that. Black women in relationship with other black women who swear black men are the worst things in the world, who swear they can get them a non-black man, and they will be in relationship with, you know, not even a white woman, but with a black woman, with another black woman, and there's nothing wrong with that. It is a far cry away from the white man, the upwardly mobile, maybe not rich, but maybe upwardly mobile, and that doesn't even mean upper middle class. That just means somebody that's constantly making moves financially, usually in an upward trajectory. So this upwardly mobile white man that you have alluded to you being able to be with, or maybe even non-black man, and it's a far cry when you end up with a black woman. That's a big distance from this upwardly mobile non-black man, probably white man, that you claim that you could have been with, right? And that's what we see often, and we're gonna see more of that. So that's what I really wanted to stress here. It wasn't so much about Amber Rose, but about the young lady that O'Shea posted initially in the video, and it's not even something to brag about or be like, haha. It is something to say, like, are you sure you know what you're doing? I mean, you speak well, you probably are educated, but what that mean? You're divesting from black men to black women? I mean, like, if let's think about it. If you feel like you're morally superior to everyone else on planet Earth, black men are a disappointment because they haven't conquered, raped, pillaged the world to essentially put you where the upper middle class white woman is, then the only other person on your level would be a black woman now, wouldn't it? I mean, you're morally superior to everyone else, including white men. The only reason you really want a white man is for the lifestyle, and so that he can titillate your ego with his presence, so that you can throw him in everyone's faces. Look, me and my heavy set dark self, I know I'm probably unattractive to most of you Negroes, but I got me a white man. That's the only reason you really want one. It's not even because y'all find them necessarily attractive or appealing. It's just so that you could throw them in everyone else's face. And so when that doesn't happen, when that falls through, then you're stuck with other black women. Because quiet is kept, non-black women are racist and anti-black too, so you can't end up with one of them. Not everybody could be Aisha Taylor. God damn, I said that out loud. Right? So this is the destination. Y'all keep on listening to all these weirdo female content creators, the Paris Milans, the Mahogany Pinks, and all of them, the Cynthia G's, and all of them. That's cool. As long as you know this is probably the final destination, right? Mr. Z, white men aren't that racist yet. The hell they are. They're not that anti-black. Yeah, over 50 years. What, Loving versus Virginia, 1967. Over 50 years for them to show you that they actually care about you like that. They ain't show you they actually care about you like that. So you end up with another woman. Shout out to all of you people. Love is just love. Because I just love different people. Yeah, that's it. You have these LGBTQ telling you they're in relationships with other women because they despise men, particularly black men. And then everybody else pretends like we don't hear that and say, no, that's love, man. Yeah, that's it. Is it always what I'm saying? Is it always an agenda? No. Is it usually agenda? That's up for debate. Right? Now, I don't want to put any laws against them. I'm not about that. I am saying when a person has decided that they're going to wage war on you politically and socially, even a person within your same group, and it backfires on them, and so now they're only stuck with the other subsection of the group. You get women like the young lady that O'Shea posted earlier. You're divesting, you're divesting, you're divesting, you're divesting, and now you're with another black woman. Right? Black men are trash, and she didn't say that part, but pretty much. And you end up with another black woman. Not with a white man, not with a Latino man, not with an Asian man, not with an indigenous man. Right? But another, and excuse my background, you guys, you know, I'm on the road right now. But with another black woman. What did Mr. Z say? Right? Y'all like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. What did Mr. Z say? For all that talking these weirdo divestors are doing, and where I will disagree with O'Shea, it's not just their mate selection, O'Shea. It's not that. They want a particular lifestyle. They want a lifestyle. They want to be annoyed. They want to be the white woman, the elite white woman. Because in their minds, well, I see frumpy, unattractive white women who are stay-at-home moms. Why can't I be one? Right? Which is true. It's not always the most attractive white women on the face of the earth that are stay-at-home mothers. That's true. And so the jealousy and the anger that you have to be a working woman and that you're black, right, is so great that you say, you know what, screw it. I'm more educated than these black men. I'm more accomplished than these black men. I'm harder working than these black men. I'm a better species. I'm a better human being. Are black men even human beings? Right? And then you go out here flirting and throwing yourselves at non-black men, and they don't reciprocate. I've been around. And then you end up with a woman and then telling us how love is love. Excuse me, y'all. Train tracks, train tracks, train tracks, train tracks. Right? This is the part of the game FD Signifier will not talk about. Right? This is the part of the game that Khadijah won't talk about this. Juicy won't talk about this. You think all those LGBTQ black women are with other women out of straight love? Get out of here. Right? You think it's just love and attraction and just open to loving other people other than, you know, stereotypical heterosexual relationships and heterosexual black men? This young lady, she told you, I'm divesting, divest, and now she's with another woman. Now she's with another woman. Our society keeps on ignoring this. The black community keeps on ignoring this. What percentage of black young women, whether black women under a certain age, report to be some type of LGBTQ, mainly the bisexual? In other words, if I can't get the man or the type of man I want, I'll just be with women. Probably black women. Right? I can't get the ballerific white dude. I don't want the trailer park white dude. I think I'm too different for the everyday square white dude. Latino men, we kind of grew up together, so they know too much. And I can't get or keep the type of black man I want, so now I'm with women. Black women. Right? This is the part of the game that like nobody wants to talk about. Your daughter's engaging in more and more same-sex relationships, not out of a sense of love. I really want to stress this. It's not love. It's not love. Whatever definition you want to give to love, I know we all have different definitions. It's not that. Right? Listen to her. She's divesting. She divested herself right into the arms of another woman. Once again, this is not some anti-LGBTQ rant. It is to say you said these things. You implied and suggested, so you're divesting from black men. And although that was a very vague statement, right? Because divesting from black men just means you're not dealing with black men anymore. Cool. You didn't end up with a white man. You didn't end up with a Latino man or an indigenous man. You ended up in a relationship with another woman, right? You ended up in a relationship with another woman. That's the part. I don't know if O'Shea knows that, right? He may not, but from my understanding, for those of you that might know what I'm talking about, that young lady, there was another video of her speaking to a young lady, and she was calling her babe and all type of stuff. So maybe Mr. Z is wrong. This whole video could be way off, right? But if I recall correctly, there was a follow-up video a little later, and that young lady was in a relationship, or at least she was making it sound like she was in a relationship with this lighter skinned young lady. She looked like she either had dreads or braids or something like that, right? And Ben Porter says it's going to be crazy watching these L's over the next 10 years. And I actually wanted to say something about that. I might actually make this a mashup right now. Um, I actually want to say something about that. And it's because of I watched the entire stream with um, BGS, Dr. Green Gorilla, and Dr. T. Hassan Johnson. And there is a pendulum swing right now, and I'm actually going to make a dedicated video about this actually, so I'm not going to give up too much here. But we've in our lifetime we're watching the somewhat of the end of an era, or at least the pendulum about to swing the other direction. And you're going to hear people still speaking, less and less though, still speaking like we're stuck somewhere in the 2010s or the 90s, right? And they're going to be doing a whole lot of virtue signaling and a whole lot of placating. And they're going to be toppled over while that pendulum swings in the other direction. That pendulum is going to knock them upside the head as it swings the other direction because they're not paying attention to the environment. They haven't counted the wins on their side at least. And they didn't realize how much of the game has changed over the past 5-6 decades, and how this has to be correct. If you're talking about equality and fairness, you got to really mean it, right? You have to really mean it. And give me a second, you guys. I'm gonna pause right here. Y'all speak amongst yourselves. Give me 1 second. Yes, and we're back. And so, like I was saying, and y'all like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. Definitely like on your way in, please, and thank you. Um, yeah. So the pendulum swing, it's because people are noticing how much their boys and men are not engaging with this system anymore. To the system's detriment. This is bigger than women. This is bigger than black women. And we have to be honest. Some of the women are going to try to sabotage the change. Some of them are going to stand in the way. They're going to be screeching and hollering and yelling from the top of their lungs how it's not fair, right? They're going to try to sabotage this correction, right? They're not just going to let it happen sitting down. They're not. They like the unfairness when it's beneficial to them, right? We have to be prepared for that. We have to be prepared for these people to say, well, so what? Men have been acting like this for millennia, for centuries, for decades, for years. In other words, once again, that cosmic payback that Mr. Z talks to y'all about all the time. That cosmic justice, that cosmic retribution. Which all it is and is an excuse to act horribly because somewhere in human history was a man that acted horribly, so it's justifiable for women to do the same. That's the excuse, right? And so men now got to pay for that. But the pendulum is going to swing the other way in our lifetimes. Is it going to fully swing the other way? No. But you will witness the pendulum swing. And you will witness some of the first people to get their heads knocked off as the pendulum swings the other way because they're not looking. Or because they think they can fight it. They think they're going to be the ones to stop it. They're not. And some of your favorite, not so favorite content creators are going to get hit with that pendulum swing also. Right? That's unfortunate for them. So as I listen to Dr. T and Dr. Green Gorilla speak, and BGS speak, and then bring up Richard Reeves, and the name that I think the name that BGS forgot to say was Scott Galloway. I think that's the name he was trying to remember that he forgot. Right? But as they were speaking, all I thought about was young men and boys completely fought, even white men and boys. And that's where the issue is. I wasn't joking when I said white men are going to try to correct this. And they're going to try to get at white women, and white women are going to use black women as their shield. And it's going to really, I want to use the word destroy, but that's too loaded of a word. But it's going to hurt black women. White women using black women, intersectionality, black race and gender as a shield. And it's going to hurt black women when black women become the face. And we've spoken about this in this space. When black women become the face of of unchecked social justice warrior, right? When black women become and it's not even when, black women are the face of unchecked social justice warrior, right? Overreaching social justice warrior. Black women are the face of that. And white women are going to leave black women holding the bag on that. White women are going to leave black women holding the bag on that. And black women are not ready for the wrath of white men. They're not. Those same white men they keep on and using to insult black men with, they're not ready for that. And so when this pendulum swings, because it was all fine and dandy when it was happening to black boys and men, but now the system is seeing, wait a minute, that maybe not my son because I'm upper middle class, but that's my nephew. That's my nephew that's not going to college. That's my nephew that's deciding to stay at home and play video games all day and masturbate. That's my nephew that's decided not to engage in the system. Right? And as that happens more and more, or as it's been happening more and more, there's time for a correction. An adjustment. And you're going to have women jumping and trying to sabotage this because they like, and this is the part I think Richard Reeves, I'm not going to put words in his mouth. I'll say for me, especially as a black man born and raised in America, women know that the system is benefiting them in an inordinate way. They know. Black women know. They realize that right now they're living in a window. They know. And they don't have a problem with it. Their biggest gripe, there's only one real big gripe. And it happens when it's time to date and mate. But everything else they love. They love that the education system is on their side. Politics is on their side. All the social issues are on their side. They love it. They love it. They know that it's against the men. They watch the same commercials as us. They saw that Gillette commercial. They're watching the same movies as us. They're watching these entertainment homes bend over backwards to marry sue every female character they have. The girls and women have no problem with this, especially the women, obviously. The only issue they have is when it's time to date and mate. And now all of them are fighting for the same top fifth of man, top quarter of man. Right? That's when they have an issue. And that's for the ones that are heterosexual. Right? And everyone's watching that happen. All the data says the same. All the online dating data says the same thing. The marriage rate says the same thing. The divorce rate says the same thing. Who's getting married? Who's staying married? Right? Who's getting married? Who's staying married? Irreconcilable differences. Yeah, that's a vague term. Why? Who's filing for divorce and why? Right? And it was all fine and dandy when it was black boys and black men. Until it wasn't just black boys and black men. And so as that pendulum swings the other way, and you have all those virtue signalers, excuse me, from Boyce Watkins, right, to Derek Jackson, right, to FD Signifier, as you see that pendulum swings the other way, and as you see white men with the power that all these black women keep on throwing in black men's faces that we don't have, as they correct this system, and white women use black women as a shield or leave black women high and dry as they run back in the kitchen, black women will be the face of the overreached of the comically excessive social justice warrior, and that's all she wrote. And it's going to be really difficult to combat that imagery because black women have been on camera saying this type of stuff for decades. I'm not even just focusing on the past decade or two on the internet. That alone is enough, right? We're reaching the end of an era. Now that doesn't mean that women go back in the kitchen and shut up and be barefoot and pregnant. That's not the world. We're not going to that world. We are not. We're not going back there. But are we gonna continue with the men ain't ish just because they came out the womb with a pair of testes? No. With a pair of testicles? Nope. Nope. Right. Yeah, we're I'm chuckling because I can see what you guys see. We see the same thing. We see the same thing. Because we're in the cutting edge with this conversation, we can see the pendulum swing. When you see these people doing research on boys and men and where they are, you know why. And you know what that's probably going to mean for where we are now. That doesn't mean they're going to pull the rug straight from under women. That's not the world we're talking about. Right? But particularly black women, yeah, they don't want what's coming down the pike. Because they will be the face of the social justice warrior that overreached. And it's going to be up to whoever black man who decides that I'm not going to let them be that, and I'm going to bat for them. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. Right? And it's unfortunate. And when you have women like that, the black woman that I spoke of earlier on the beginning of O'Shea's video, speaking about divesting, and the way she spoke, faces like hers will be the ones that are used to say this is your daughters that you did all of this for. Look at when they got in position, look how they spoke about their men. Look at how they spoke of men. Right? And this is why I go in on some of these content creators over and over and over again. Because Chrissy isn't dumb. She's insidious, but she ain't dumb. She's going to continue to give you the content that brings her the most views and the most money. Paris Milan isn't dumb. She's just a black female chocolate dipped white hyper capitalist. Right? Cynthia G isn't dumb. She's unhinged. She's off her rocker, but she's not dumb. Right? Spain Man says Paris is an airhead. She is an airhead. She is an airhead. A sassy one-liner, right? Airhead. But she's a paid airhead because she knows where the money is. And enraging black women is where the money is. Telling black women that they need do be about your money, F these men, right? She knows where the money is. That fake empowerment language, she knows where the money is. Chrissy knows where the money is. You're just going to continue to sell women, black women namely, lottery ticket dreams or silver bullets to get out of the struggle of life. And that's all it is. That's all it is. That's the same reason why women go to churches more than men. It's always selling them on some silver bullet, lottery ticket dream of being out of the struggle. And they eat that up. So yeah, Paris Milan is maybe an airhead, but she's a paid airhead. Because she knows what type of content to make for her subscribers and what will resonate with them. Right? Cynthia G. Cynthia G needs to see a therapist more than anything, quite frankly. If the pieces of her story, her life story that I've been hearing for years, if that's true, yeah, Cynthia G needs to see a real therapist. Not some placating, I'm just going to get this money from you therapist. No, a real therapist. But she's gone in the head. But she's making money in being gone in the head. She's getting invited to fuck soul while being gone in the head. Right? Which speaks volumes of our society, of the black community, and of other black women that agree with her. If Cynthia G, who's clearly off her rocker, can be invited to fuck soul multiple times now, what does that say about the probably couple million black folks, namely black women, that agree with Cynthia G? Right? Think about that. These content creators, and this is why I always bring them up, because I will not let them off the hook. Paris Milan, you're not just going to be able to go and sell out in the sunset with all that money you made off of enraging content for your subscribers. You don't just get to go off. To me, these people are drug dealers, right? Their seed money is the rage, the anger, the resentment, the loneliness, the sadness of black women, and them capitalizing on that. The insecurity of black women, them capitalizing on that, and then using that money to go start something else or to go do something else. Makeup lines and all type of weird stuff. Start magazines about dark-skinned black women and all type of... Meanwhile, your seed money was black men ain't ish. That's your insecurity? You're insecure about your relationship life, your dating life, your sex life? Let me keep on pressing that button so I can get more dollars from you. As I said before, I was not joking when I said that. Black men in the black manosphere care about black women more than those black female content creators do. I was not joking. I didn't say that in jest. D. Scott, thank you for the super chat. D. Scott says most black women talking out here are avatars for mental illness, in my opinion. I mean, I wasn't joking. I was listening to the live when Chrissy said, everything, pretty much paraphrasing, pretty much everything in her life is swell. Great. She making this money. She got this nice view. She got this hotel. Everything is great. Right? except for her dating life. Trash. And when she cited the somber tone in her voice, you're lonely. Now, that was some weeks ago. That was actually maybe more like a couple months ago now. But that spoke to her being lonely. From my understanding, Real Talk with Yanni is celibate. Right? All that high value man talk and money, and that's not a term she uses, but all that you need a man that pay for this and do that, da 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 da. Celibate. And I'm not saying she should be out there having sex, but I'm guaranteed the celibacy speaks to her probably not having a man, not maybe going on dates, maybe not. Right? Not having a man, not having a relationship, so celibate. And not just celibate, lack of intimacy, etc., etc. Right? Paris Milan is really on some muhaha stuff because supposedly she's engaged while she makes all this rage porn content for her subscribers. You're engaged. You think so you just get to sell out in the sunset off of the money you made enraging these women and young women, many of them under the age of 18. So you just get to sell out in the sunset with your husband, and then these women are supposed to do what? Right? AB said, so she found a sucker, huh? Yeah, apparently she's been engaged for a little while. Paris Milan, that is. Right? We don't know what's going on with Mahogany Pink, but she's somewhere in academia, according to her. Lexus Exodus is married to some non-black man, according to her. Once again, you're married, and you're just going to continue to make rage porn content for your subscribers. Right? And a lot of this is being risk adverse, not knowing how to deal with adversity and strife, or being traumatized as a child from dealing with adversity and strife. And so now you're looking for the magic bullet, that silver bullet, that magic bullet, that lottery ticket, that one thing that's going to solve everything, and it's a man. Right? Preferably a white man. GC says half of these broads probably lying about being married, having a fiance. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. Right? And it is sad. Cynthia G apparently has a black man too. You imagine. That's why Mr. Z is careful. Like, I have black women in my life that I actually care about, that are actually good women, that are actually good examples of femininity, that are actually good. They're good people, not just good women. They are good people. They are kind people. They are giving people. Right? And when I speak as such. So you won't catch me on Fox Soul at the end of the stream after I ripped black women apart. And someone like, yeah, I'm going to go chill with my black wife. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go chill with my black wife too. And everybody's like, wait a minute. Z got a black wife or black girlfriend? What? Not the way he speak. No. And shout out to all the men who Shout out to, okay, Paris Milan's engaged. Okay, cool. Let's say we agree. Let's say we believe her. Shout out to you for seeing what she creates in her content. I don't know which one is worse, if she's being genuine or not. Shout out to you for watching that and still putting a ring on her finger. Because either that's the real her on the internet and that's horrific, or she's pretending and acting and that's horrific also. And that is also horrific. Right? And this is how far she's going for some money. Right? So I'll come into a close soon, but I just want to stress that initially, for those of you that didn't catch the beginning, the video initially was speaking about the young lady in the beginning of O'Shea Duke Jackson video about Amber Rose, and from my understanding, that young lady is in a LGBTQ relationship with another black woman, and I wanted to stress that for many black women, that's what divestment is going to get you. I would argue for most black women, it's either going to get you perpetually single or ending up in a relationship with another woman, probably another black woman. And it's not necessarily always about looks, maybe not even always about personality, believe it or not, or character. It's simply because non-black men are that anti-black. It's really that simple. I love stressing that to black people because I think we see this equality on TV, and maybe we go to school with a lot of people and we chill with them, but many of you have those stories where you caught a family member of theirs saying something where they told you, hey, this is what my dad said or my mom said. Oh, I find that black girl attractive, but I could never bring her home. We've all heard it. And yet black women, like these particular women, act like they don't know or they didn't hear it. It's his whole family versus you. And that's for the ones that are open to black women anyway. You have to revamp this system. All that hyper individuality thing got people insane. Black women are the most attractive human beings on the face of the earth, especially if they keep their body right. And what that mean when you live in a white supremacist system? Nothing. Nothing. What that means is the white guys that are even open to it will want to knock you off a bucket list. That's about it. The Latino guys that are open to it will want to knock you off a bucket list, but they're not risking familial ties for you. Right? Right? And so you find yourself with another black woman. And it's not all this love talk. Stop. For some LGBTQ black women, yeah, maybe. But when you keep on talking about how black men ain't ish, with all the gusto and attitude in the world, and then we find out you in a relationship with another woman, another black woman, right? That's because you love women that much? Come on, stop. And I'm saying that for T Noir, for Khadijah, for FD Signifier, for Julesy, for Nappy Headed Hoba. You think it's because they love women like that? Right? Black women are the most same-sex loving group of people in America, mainly because of the bisexual part, right? They're not even fully, excuse my language, lesbian. Right? They're bi, which means I'm with the woman until I could be with the man I want, the type of man I want. Right? And there's nothing wrong with that, but call a thing, though. Right? So I went from that, from speaking about that young lady, right, who say she's divesting from black men, and then we find out she's possibly, because that was what that's the impression she gave, possibly in a relationship with a black woman, to the pendulum swinging and the paradigm shift, right? That's slowly happening. I wouldn't even say the pendulum started to swing the other way yet, but it's slowing down and it's swinging right. It's swinging right and it's slowing down. It's about to start swinging the other way with all the force in the world. And whoever get caught up in that on that swing back left, whew. Spain, man. Spain man said, ooh, with the young and May voice. Oh, man. I need that laugh. Right? No, it's not, I Am Wolf. It's not She's on the DL. I'm referencing O'Shea Duke Jackson video where he spoke about Amber Rose saying she's done with black men. And in the beginning of the video was this heavy set, darker skinned black woman, who was saying that she's divesting from black men and black men just be running their mouth and blah 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 blah. And he played a short clip in the beginning of her, and then he played a larger clip of her later on. But from my understanding, that same black woman is in a relationship with another black woman, right? And so what I'm speaking to is many of these so-called divestors forgetting what planet they live on, in what country they live in. And so, okay, you're black men ain't ish, cool. You're doing better in life than your black male counterparts. You're more educated. You're more well connected. You got more money. All of that, right? You're just a better human being than everyone else on planet Earth. But you're open to being in a relationship with a non-black man, preferably a white man. Well, unfortunately, because of the country you live in and because of its history, you're going to have to deal with the consequences of that. This is not about what you see in the mirror. This is about what they see when they see you. And you can attempt to distance yourself from black men as much as you want. I mean, y'all have literally been trying to do it, well, since slavery. But, right, for the past 60 or 50 years now, and it's gone over like farting loud in church. Right? And so you find yourselves here in a relationship with another woman. Right? But let me pause right there, everyone. I got stuff to do. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Y'all go out and check other Black Manosphere content, and definitely, obviously, other content outside of just man, woman, black stuff, because, you know, we don't want to be like these other people who don't know what the hell they're talking about all the time. Right? Yes. All right, everyone. I'll pause right here. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Mr. Z out.